Example 2. Luis works in an office and the phone rings occasionally. The possible number of phone calls he receives in an afternoon and their probabilities are given in the table below. So this time our probabilities are not given to us in decimal form, but given to us in fractional form. All right, so our first question says to find the probability that Luis receives 3 or 4 phone calls. So if we look, we're looking at 3 and 4. Now, since these are fractions, I'm going to write them a little bit different, and you can organize them however you would like. So here's my number of phone calls of 3 and my number of phone calls 4. So number of calls. All right, so 3 was 1/3 and 4 is 1/9. So we need to add these two together. So in order to add my fractions together, I need to make sure that my denominators are the same. So I know I can make this 1/3 have a denominator of 9. So I'm going to rewrite. So I'm going to go over here. So 3 times 3 would be 9. So I'm going to do 1 times 3 and get 3. So 1/3 can be written as 1/9 and then add to it 1/9 or 3/9, sorry. So that together would equal, add our tops together, 4/9. All right, the next one, find the probability that Luis receives fewer than 2 phone calls. So we're looking at fewer than 2 phone calls. So that would be 0 calls or 1 call. So 0 calls or 1 call. So 0 is 1/6 and 1 call is 1/6 as well. So we're going to add those two together and we get 2/6, which we can simplify down to 1/3. Okay, let's look at our next question. Find the probability that Luis receives 2 or fewer phone calls. So we have to include 2 in this. So Luis could get 2 phone calls, he could get 1 phone call, or 0 phone calls. So I'm going to go to my table. 2 phone calls is 2/9. Then we're going to add to it the 1/6 and 1/6, which we had already found to be 2/6 or 1/3. Oh, can't see it there, sorry. Which we found to be 2/6 or 1/3. So let's write them out singly. So 1/6 plus 1/6. So this part is what we found on the previous problem, and we found that this was equal to 1/3. So now my new problem says 2/9 plus 1/3. So let's rewrite this so it has a denominator of 9. So 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 3 would be 3. So when we add those together, we get 5/9. Okay, and then our last question, find the probability that Luis does not receive 4 phone calls. So remember, if we add all of these up, this would equal a total of 1. So we're going to take out this 4 phone calls or 1/9. So we're going to say 1 minus 1/9. So we're going to make this look like a fraction. And then we subtract and we do 9 minus 1, which is 8. So the probability would be 8/9.